to DCUO episode 16. This is the new alert. Actually, this is the Elite Alert, which is being held in the Desecrated Cathedral that you can find in the Gotham Wastelands. What you see right now here at the start is the initial part, where you go the cathedral, the tower, one of those towers. You have to go from bottom, middle, and then up to the top. And in each of those rooms, you have to activate the console where I'm right now standing and activating. Yeah, in those rooms, there just adds nothing really special, and they're really well. No, they are not really. You don't even need a tank. In the normal version, you don't need a tank at all. So this is just in the elite version. Everything hits slightly harder. You see, the CR of those ads is 138, and after the first boss fight, the ads are greed demons, which have 1 CR higher and are 139. You also can check. You see, our CR is a little bit well. Except for the controller, everyone is around the CR for what you can be on live right now, but our stats are lower than actually on live because, yeah, test server, we are not really maxed out on skill points, etc., and all those things. So technically, this is all a bit lower than what you will experience on live. On live, it will be faster and smoother. So yeah, this is then the second room. Then you activate it, the console as well, and then it goes up to the tower, and on the top of the tower you find Jared waiting for you. Jared is the first boss. He is actually pretty weird. He charged around. I had to spam a lot the single target taunt. He never really reacted in an earlier run from yesterday that was on the stream. He never reacted on my taunts there. So I use now a single target taunt, but I still have to spam it, and still he's going for the group members. You see, he's hitting really hard on the healer in general, yeah, you need to be careful with that, so people probably need to be prepared to block when he does the charge and stuff, and look at someone. But mostly it works to keep spamming the single target taunt. I use mesmerizing lasso, but everything else for all the other power sets working as well. Like, I'm not sure, snowball I think for ice, and fireball for fire, and it's stone. So this is the second mechanic of the boss. This is those cages can be activated. This will, here you see it. Those cages can be activated. Rain does this in this moment. This will prevent from spawning Helion, small Helion ads that do some small cone AoE damage, which in the elite version you want to prevent to spawn simply because in combination with Javed's damage it can be tricky, and you remember elite alert, you're only allowed to die once or you're out. In the normal alert you can pretty much ignore that because everything does not so much damage. The difference of the CR is at the moment on test 2 points. Yeah, 2 points. 136 is the normal version of normal Jared, and 138 is the elite Jared. So yeah, you see the fight is really slow with one tank and one DPS, one healer and one controller, but as said, the damage is quite heavy. Heal is pretty much recommended. Controller, well, yeah, better to have because of spamming the single target pull, and yeah, that's it pretty much. So there you see, after a certain amount of time, or actually it's health based, we believe it's health based, he's spawning those ads you can find as bosses, or well, what's that? Those, not real bosses, but those open world bosses or something like some rough Smoldering Wrath, sorry. And yeah, they do pretty much everything you know from life. What you can experience right now in the Gotham Wasteland. They do AoE and so on and so on. And yeah, Jared also, just saw that kind of spikes coming in my direction. This is the cone AoE, so you do not want to stand behind the tank. Otherwise you get hit. You survive them. It's not really hitting that hard. So, and then you see keep after that. This is the second boss that you can experience in this tower. This is the boss you usually experience when you go on the bottom of this tower. The Smoldering Wrath is the boss in the duo that you usually find in the middle of the tower, and then you remember there was a third one. This was when you pretty much go in here upstairs. You have those decisions in this duo where you want to go, and if you take the other one, the third one, for the top of the tower, yeah, you will see that soon. Yeah. Each of those bosses have their own mini mechanic, but they're not really deadly as long as you keep them under control as a tank. If you do not, then yeah. You saw right now the cone AoE went on DB and it just only took like 75% health. If he's topped the health, then he won't die. This is what Jared also does. You see that he's putting a dot on someone right now again. I think no. Oh yeah, and there you see the third boss that you usually can find on top of the tower, Mistress of the Crows. Yeah. That's it pretty much. So those bosses will spawn over the time of the fight. And that's it pretty much. So this was the first boss fight, and then you're going to straight jump to the next one, because the way to James, which is the second boss, is just adds nothing special. Yeah, you're just going through add waves after add wave. There's nothing special there. So what you see is the voracious greed demon. He can heal himself. You saw I just launched him, which interrupts this healing. Otherwise he's healing himself and people and things around him, which means yeah, you want to interrupt that, or is healing the other adds the Vessel of Greed back to the top again. And yeah, you see the healing. He has a second attack. This is combined with a skull attack. He pretty much looks at someone's direction when he does a skull, and when he does that, he is pretty much one-shotting. We are sure that if you have a high CR 131 or so, you should survive the one-shot, but in general it will kill a one-shot. So the best thing is, if you see a Voracious Greed Demon, skull attack, block if you're not attack. This is just a safe one. And when they are both down, and the third ad that pretty much died at the start. Oh no, actually it's there still. Oh no, wait, that's another one. Just doing quickly the James before we come into the Greed Demons. You see James is stunning the sidekick, and you see the sidekick is losing power. So he does that not only to sidekicks, he also does that to players. And if he does it to a player, you want to interrupt him, because otherwise he's losing a lot of power and putting strain on the controller, which is actually a good mechanic. You remember that from the good old Batcaves. Okay, see, just straight interrupted, prevented that it goes any further. And the second mechanic, oh well, that's another one that you just saw. He held a bit back. We're not sure how that exactly works, but when we blocked, or when there was not much people around him, it seemed to be fine. So we're not really 100% sure or how it works. And the third is you will teleport to someone randomly and puts an AoE on the ground where he teleported, and you want to move out of it. It does damage, but usually nothing that straight kills you away. You have enough time to move out of it. There's no need to block, just move out of it, you will be fine. This is pretty much a phase where you want to have the tank, the healer, to keep his shield for it, because that makes it fairly simple then to walk out of it. Also the tank can use it, Because you see, you get sucked in. If the tank times his breakout for this, everything will be fine. And yeah, the one where we are not sure where he's healing a bit, but sometimes he doesn't heal as much. We are really not sure how it works. It could be really that you just block out of it, block it, and then he doesn't count you or something. We are not sure how that exactly works. So yeah. And another one, aside of exactly this, what you just saw, he's spawning greed demons. You want to prevent the greed demons to move to one of those. Well, they see our controller died a second time. You want to prevent them to complete their ritual to one of those, ritual things. If they do, they going to buff James. Here you see pretty much how you can do like a third or 25% of James without a controller. We finished it, we really finished it. It was a bit tricky, but we did somehow. Because James is not so controller intensive like Jared was. You see here now is 2 greed imps, and just keeping preventing them from reaching their target. You can use consumable. I'm using stun consumable. They're really long on the stun of the consumable, pretty much the full duration. They are not breaking out, which makes it super easy. They are pretty much the controller. They're pretty much the controller thingy here, the controller mechanic, because you can perma-stun them as a controller, if the controller would be alive at this point. But yeah, you need to say that Rain is usually not controlling, so that's just what it is. So now our healer died once, now we're resing him, and that's the whole fight. You see Sidekicks losing power again, but we didn't launch the Sidekick because it gives you a lot more window where I don't have to worry about James doing damage. So you see, he pretty much didn't heal, but we are not sure why that is the case. We really don't know how that mechanic actually works. If someone knows how it works, feel free to type it into the comments. I mean, you see what's happening. Feel free to check out, give us a hint. And this was boss fight number 2. And then you meet a Raven. Well, actually you meet a Raven twice. One of the Raven was fighting for you, the good one, and the other one you fighting against. We assume that the villain version will be straight the other side. There's Brother Blood, you see, upstairs. We do not know what the villain side will have. If there will be a hero, but we assume there will be a hero. However, just to get straight back to mechanics, Raven will spawn after a certain amount of percentage. We assume 95% or something around that. It's pretty early. She spawns those 4 Raven soul selves, and they have not much health. You can straight burn them, put in orbital, they will die straight away. And then a bit later, Brother Blood gets his 3 ads in the room. And while they kind of don't do much, but the Cold's Deadeye is like in Throne of the Dead or the other raids from Amazon Fury Part 2. He's placing, if he's not stunned, but you can perma-stun him by the way, controller job. If he's not stunned, he has a skull tag, place a skull on someone, and yeah, pretty much there like does damage on you. You can survive it if you have high CR, but if you have low CR like Rain or 2B, you might die from it. DB reported he survived one, was 130, so yeah. We splitted Raven away from the Ed, so the Ed's dying quicker. You see Raven also stuns players once in a while. This is where the tank can pretty much help with breakout. But otherwise you see I'm getting from those vortexes consistently juggled, and it gets annoying. If you're the tank, you will hate this so much, this fight. Well, I did. It's boring because it takes so long. But what you can do, because at some point, around 2/3 of her health bar, when you brought her down 1/3 of her health, 66%, then she gets into her next phase. At this point, she will start spawning birds. Lots of birds. And not only that, she will start going into her reflect mechanic. But when she is at it, this is the reflect mechanic, you see that? It comes without a warning, there is no tell for it. As soon as she does it, the reflect is active, there is no warning for it. So if you're in the range, play safe, stop with your damage. And there are the bird, Astro Bird. You can always have like 1-2 Astro Bird around you, otherwise, well, they do not split so much. But when you get a lot of bird, you need to get the controller to stun the bird and move Raven out of his range. There you go, to be just hit, kept hitting Raven, the skull came, the reflect came up and he immediately died. There is no warning, there is no reaction time for this, he will straight die, but you can predict it. So how you do it? You see my breakouts on 5 on 6, they both have 20 seconds cooldown, and Raven apparently does the reflect mechanic every 20 seconds. If she is in a mechanic, in something else right at this moment, if she does something at this point, she will finish it and then do the mechanic. So you can pretty much count it up to 20, use your a healer can use his shields, they're also on a 20-second cooldown. As I said, breakouts working fine, use a breakout for this counter. I used my breakout for this. So yeah, and then just play safe, but you need to do steady damage, and you need to make it possible that the damage from the DPS is not splitting like crazy. So yeah, 1 or 2 Astro Birds are fine, 3, 4, and you do no damage on Raven. So you see me kiting a lot. As the next reflect. And the reflect stops as soon the visual of this cocoon is gone. If the red or that is still floating afterwards on her, that doesn't matter, it's the cocoon animation, that bird kind of animation that you know also from the Brother Blood instance that you do with level 17. When this is gone, you can straight attack, you don't have to wait until the red aura around her is gone. You don't. So, why you have to split? Why we do the splitting? Why we do those weird running around like chickens? Well, it's pretty simple. You know what? They brought back an enrich timer in this game. There is an enrich timer in the elite version, and it's just only the elite version. So, if you not split, if you do not utilize controller stun, tank movement with Raven single target taunt, good high DPS, so yeah, a low DPS will not get you through your go. Also, yeah, the healer also helps you quite a bit. Having a good healer as well helps. Yeah, you need definitely a good group for this, but to be fair, it's just executing the mechanics as itself nothing hard. You will see also DB on one of those EMP he did while the reflect comes up. I don't know if it right now will happen. It should become any secondary reflect. There you go. No, I will come later. However, yeah, we see he barely survives the reflect. It's pretty tricky, and you see me getting bumped around all the time. It's super annoying. As a tank, I absolutely hate this instance. Yeah, I hate it. As a healer and as a controller and even as a DPS, I can imagine it's fun. Just got bumped over there, left or right, can't do anything. As a you see, I just pulled while the shield was up. You can't use a pull while the shield is up when you have high health. When you have full health, you will survive it as a tank, if you have to, because Raven also really. Oh, you see these birds. How many birds are there? You see that, and you do not want to have Raven around those for long, or it's getting really messy. You do no damage because of that. It's a really neat mechanic to get really force the controller to keep stunning the birds. They're get permanently stunned. Yeah. As said, Raiden is usually not controlling, so. And also, I have to say, munitions controller is probably here the best. He can simply pull the ads with, I don't know what the ability was called, but he can pull up to 4 ads with that. And that makes the whole fight easier. You can pretty much stay in a corner and let all the birds get pulled by the munitions controller. It's really, really awesome to have those kind of things. Maybe we'll see more munitions controller, who knows. Oh yeah, and Raven also has a health bar. There is a feat in the normal version. If you keep Raven above 75% health, you're Raven, and finish her with above 75% health, you get a 25% pointer. So yeah, having a healer who keeps consistently healing Raven is also worth it. And you want to do that anyway, because if your Raven dies, yeah, it's gone too. So it helps to have a healer who can also heal NPCs all the time. Having heals who can heal NPCs, all of those power sets can do that. So yeah, thank you for watching. See ya, and bye bye.